Hello and welcome to Farmers After Hours and our Farm to Fitness mini session with the one and only Sarah Zastrow of Cultivate Balance. We appreciate her time and willingness to share with us today and are glad that you're tuning in. So Sarah, go ahead and take it over.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am excited to be here. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah Zastrow. I am an exercise physiologist by trade. So what that means is that I teach people how different stressors affect the body, and then in turn, what we can do in order to combat that. So the way that this works nicely with farming is that it works a lot with farm stress, and that's primarily what I do, is teach people how to deal with farm stress. A huge component of farm stress is exercise and drinking our water, sleeping well, eating what we should, drinking what we should, and all of the things that go along with the nutrition side of that. So one thing that we know is that farmers are super stressed out right now, rather. I grew up on a farm, and I remember the weight that my dad would carry, right? I remember that stress. And from a kid's perspective, it's a lot different. I didn't feel that weight, but I do know that there's a few things that made it better. And then in going away to school and learning more about this, I decided that I wanted to teach people how to be able to combat that stress a little bit better. And part of that is improving our physical health, which also in turn improves all the other aspects of our lives. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. One day my husband and I were kind of bickering back and forth, and I told him, I said, I probably get more steps than you do a day. I'm way more active than you. At the time I was teaching about 15 exercise classes a week. And he said, oh yeah, let me wear your Fitbit for a day. And I was pretty proud that I usually got my 10,000 steps fairly early in the day. But he got his like right out the gate. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. So I had to kind of eat my words a little bit. So I was thinking about this and thinking that farmers really do have a ton of physical activity, right? You are on your feet, you're constantly working, you've got a crazy amount of fitness built into your job, which means my typical lecture that I teach people about that they need to exercise 30 minutes a day is laughable to farmers, right? And anybody who tells a farmer you need to exercise is you got another thing coming, right? Because that's all you do is exercise. And I certainly am well aware of that. But there's a key here that farmers miss that typical exercisers don't miss, okay? And that is that when we go to the gym, we take selfies of our muscles, right? We want those selfies to send or whatever that is. We look at the weights and we think, yeah, I did a good job. I am so strong. I am so fit. And farmers don't do this, right? First of all, you don't really toot your own horn in that way, but also you're going to the next thing on your to-do list, right? You've got 100 other things to get done that day. But what happens is that we never take the time to appreciate what we did. Farmers don't take the time to say, I lifted a ton of weights today. My body is strong and capable, and I did everything I needed to do, right? I was able to do it. Everything went well, and my body worked its butt off today. We don't take that time to appreciate what we did, and because we skip that part of exercise, our body doesn't release the serotonin and dopamine that it normally would if we were at the gym checking ourselves out in the mirror. Okay, so what do, right? Because I'm not telling you to take selfies of all the work that you did that day, but by taking 2 seconds, okay, literally take one deep breath in and out and appreciate what you just did, will release that serotonin and dopamine, which helps our body feel the effects of exercise even more. Okay, so next time whatever it is you did, you baled hay, you broke down a tire, you pounded all the rocks out of the field cultivator, right? Whatever that looks like that you did that was physical labor, that worked up a sweat, that got your muscles going, take a second and say, yeah, my body is awesome. I did such a good job right now, okay? And that seems really simple to take 2 seconds or 5 seconds to do that, but that's the part that releases that serotonin and dopamine in our brain. That's the important part. Okay, so number one, I call it reframing the runner's high. Okay, so we call it the farmer's high, is to appreciate what you did. Number two is to stretch your body. Okay, one thing that is really, really prevalent is farmers getting hurt or injuring themselves, right? Think about how many people you know who have a bad back or a bad shoulder or bad knee or hip. When we stretch our muscles, we reduce the risk of injury, okay? And we know because we just have to push that part a little bit higher. You just have to pull a little bit harder. You just have to lift a little bit more. And what happens is that's when injuries happen. Okay, if we stretch, if our muscles are loose and we have lots of space in those joints, everything is heated up, everything is flowing in our body, then we're less likely to have an injury. Okay, the other thing it does is that if you stretch before bed, it actually helps you sleep better. Not only can you fall asleep quicker, but you also are more comfortable in your sleep. So you sleep deeper and you're less likely to wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep. So stretching is super, super important. So that's number two. Number one is to reframe that runner's high into the farmer's high. And number two is to stretch your body. I like to stretch in the morning and at night. It does not take very long at all, right? If we can hold those stretches for 30 seconds, that's great. I usually stretch my arms, my back, my legs. That's it, right? Arms, back, and legs. Okay, easy peasy. Take 5 minutes. It feels good for your body. It's really good for injury prevention. And I think we all could use a little help sleeping at night. Okay, number three is to sleep well. Okay, now that is tough. Easier said than done, certainly. I did a poll and it was interesting for me to find out that 80% of people have trouble sleeping more than one night a week. Okay, that's huge. And probably you are in the same boat. So what that means, how can we improve our chances of sleeping well? Well, first of all, stretch before bed. That's an easy one. Second of all is to, when we are winding down for the night, stop thinking about all the crap that could go wrong. Stop thinking about the markets and the tariffs and the this and the that and the breakdowns and the fight you had with your brother and all that stuff. When you, an hour before bed, have something to think about that's good, okay? Maybe you think about fishing. Maybe you think about playing with your kids. Maybe you think about mowing the lawn, but something that doesn't bring you stress, okay? Think about something positive before you go to bed. Because if we think about negative things before we go to bed, then we dream about that stuff, and that ruins our sleep, okay? So tips to sleep well is wind down an hour before bed, change that narrative so that we're not thinking about the stressful parts, stretch before bed, and then when you lay in bed, get comfortable, okay? Somebody told me once, I was talking to a sleep expert, and I thought this was really, really interesting. He said, most people, especially people who have a physical job, like a physically exhausting, a labor job, just kind of fall in bed and fall asleep however they lay, right? And then we get kinks in our neck and our back doesn't feel right and this hip hurts and that knee hurts and nothing is aligned. If we take a minute to just make sure that our head is over our shoulders, our back is straight, and our hips are straight. Make sure that we're comfortable before we crash in bed at night. Then we actually sleep a lot better and you won't wake up with so many aches and pains. Somebody told me, I turned 40 and all of a sudden the aches and pains are everywhere. I get up and I hurt. How does that happen? How do you injure yourself sleeping, right? If we're able to align our body, use extra pillows if you need to, one under your knees or between your knees works great. If we're able to sleep well, then the whole day goes better. We know from all kinds of different research, when we sleep well, our attitude is better, right? That fuse is a little bit longer. We're a little more patient with people, but also our problem solving works better. Our cause and effect works better. Our memory works better. When we sleep well, everything is better. Okay, so make sleep a priority and do what you can to make sure that you're giving yourself a shot at sleeping well. Number 4 is to drink your water. Beer doesn't count. Coffee doesn't count. you have to drink water, okay? Now, water is one of the first things that gives you energy. So if you're feeling tired, make sure you're drinking your water. If you get a headache, make sure you're drinking your water. I always have my water with me. It's everywhere I go. I have a huge jug that sits with me. It's a gallon, and it's helpful to have it there with me. And I realize that when I don't drink my water, like nothing works as well, right? Things just don't work as well. Your memory doesn't work as well. You're tired all the time. You're a little bit grouchy. And when we're dehydrated, we get headaches more often and all different things. Our body operates on water, right? We're 60 to 80% water. And so it's important that we drink water. Okay. And so what I do is always have it with me. That's really helpful. Also, I drink out of a straw. That's really helpful. If you don't like the taste of it, or if you have bad water, do something to change that just a little bit, right? You can always put something in your water to make it a little bit better. Okay. And that is really, really important. Water is so vital. Okay. And I know that as farmers, it's easy to skip it, right? Because you're busy, you're here and there, and you set this one thing down, and you're tired, so you think, oh, I'll just grab some coffee, and that's good too, right? I'm an avid coffee drinker, but it's not necessarily hydrating us, and so we need to be drinking that water. Okay, number 5 is to eat your fruits and veggies. I grew up in a meat and potato kind of household, and that's great. But, and I know that they say potato is the optimum meal, right? You get a little butter, a little sour cream, and potato. It's the perfect combination of carbs, fat, and protein. It's perfect, right? And I love potatoes just as much as the next person. But you have to balance that out with some green. You have to balance that out with some fruits and veggies. We have to make sure that we are nourishing our body. What we need, what just meat and potatoes lacks, is vitamins and minerals. And that's what we need to make sure that our body is operating well. We need those vitamins and minerals, and you only get those things in colored foods, okay? Now, like I said, I love potatoes, I love steak, not gonna quit eating it, but eating 5 fruits and veggies a day is really, really helpful. I know that seems hard, but we are food producers. We have the freshest food, right? And if you just grow corn and soybeans or corn and dry beans or wheat or whatever, you might not have that stuff on your farm, but most farmers also have a garden. You have the opportunity to eat the freshest, the best food. Take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of that. Plant an apple tree, right? Get a cherry bush. It doesn't matter what it is, but eat your fruits and vegetables. We need that nutrition, and it's easy to sneak them in, right? Apple for breakfast, some fruit for lunch, celery in the middle of the afternoon, something for dinner. 5 a day goes quick. It seems like a lot, but after you start incorporating 5 a day into your diet, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, right? And they're pretty good. You can vary it up a little bit. Now, you'll hear some people say, oh, you have to eat the spinach, you have to eat the kale, you have to eat these superfoods. And you and I know that's a crock of you know what, okay? You don't have to eat anything, but find the things that you like, right? Find the things that you actually enjoy eating. Find the things that bring you a little bit of satisfaction when you're eating them. I love peaches, okay? I'm not gonna eat kale and pretend it's a peach. That's stupid, right? But I am gonna eat the peaches. Okay, forget the kale, right? But find something that you like and eat it. Go with it, stick with it, right? Because we need those fruits and veggies. And if we like it, then we're more likely to eat it, to continue on that habit. Okay, so our 5 exercise tips or 5 wellness tips are to reframe an exercise. We know that you're working hard. If you're not working hard, take a lap around the farm at the end of the day, do a couple squats, a couple of push-ups, reframe that exercise so that you get that rush of dopamine to reframe that runner's high. Number 2, stretch your body. I stretch morning and night, helps me sleep better, gives me energy first thing in the morning, and it's the best way to reframe and to reframe, to relax those muscles, to stretch out those muscles, to reduce stress, and it really, really helps our bodies. Number 3, do what you can to sleep well. I know that this is a tough one, but there are certain things that will help it a little bit, and make sure that you're doing those things. Number 4, drink your water, high quality H2O. That's what we want to see. And number 5, eat your fruits and veggies. As food producers, we have access to the best fruits and veggies. Take advantage of it. Your body will thank you. You'll have more energy. You'll feel better. And things in your body just work a lot better when we're eating those fruits and vegetables. It's not that bad. Being healthy is good. It feels good. Your body will reward you, and you will be able to go a lot farther and a lot longer if you take care of yourself. Okay, and if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. We take care of our herd. We take care of our family. We take care of everybody around us, and we ignore ourselves, right? A lot of us do that, and that's not healthy. You have to take care of yourself if you want to be able to pass that down to your family, pass that down to the next generation, and be able to take care of your livestock and your herd. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening to this mini episode. I really enjoyed being here with you. We have tons of free resources on our website. There's videos for all this sort of thing and so much more. So you can visit micultivatebalance.com to see all the videos and get some more help if you have questions. Have a great day.